So we saw something that we've not seen for a very, very long time. Oscar Piastri was on a potentially record run when it came to consecutive points finishes. Not just finishes, but finishes in the top 10 as well. A lot of people were questioning, well, what happened to Oscar Piastri? Why did he crash out on the first lap? Was there contact? Was there something wrong with his car? What actually happened there? Well, the man himself has spoken about this now. He has left the marshalling post where, of course, he was watching the race on a mobile phone, which is an incredible image. I mean, I put it in my thumbnail for the race review if you guys haven't seen it. But, you know, he's finally left that marshal's post. He's come back to the paddock and he has spoken about what happened. And he has accepted full responsibility for what happened. He's not blaming the team. He's not blaming any other drivers. Let's have a look at what the still championship leader has had to say about what happened on Sunday afternoon in downtown Baku. Oscar Piastri accepted full responsibility for his race-ending crash after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, a mistake that cost him 6 points in the championship battle with McLaren teammate Lando Norris. It could have been a lot worse. That's the thing as well, right? Like I said in my review, like I said in the title of my review as well. You know, it was very much Lando failing to capitalise. He wasn't able to capitalise for a number of different reasons. The team and the driver, you could argue, have to take a bit of blame on both fronts there. But the fact is that he finished in 7th. You know, Piastri was never going to lose the championship lead because of the advantage he had. But there was every chance that it could have been down to 10 points. It could have been down to, 15 points, something like that. But as it is, it's 25. So it's still a big gap at the top. He has effectively a race buffer still, does Oscar Piastri. The Australian's weekend was already compromised after a qualifying crash left him starting from 9th. At the start of Sunday's race, his car dropped into anti-stall mode following a jump start, leaving him at the back of the pack before the corner. As he tried to recover positions on the opening lap, Piastri attempted an outside move into turn 5, but slid into the barriers, ending his race. He said, quote, "I think just ultimately I misjudged the grip level. Probably a lot of that is from dirty air, but I know better than that, to expect the lack of grip. I'm certainly not blaming it on anyone else. It was 2 simple errors on my behalf that I caused today." End quote. Like anything in life, if you make a mistake, you're prone to make another one as well because you're off balance effectively, and being at the back of the grid, being in traffic like that at the start of a Grand Prix is not something that Piastri's really had to do at any point this season apart from Australia. That's the only one I can really think of. Maybe Canada you could say, but he was still 4th. He wasn't exactly out of the points or anything. It was his second accident in as many days, and Piastri admitted there was no easy explanation, though he felt reassured by his underlying pace. You're never going to feel amazing after a weekend like this, but ultimately I feel like the pace has still been good this weekend. I think it's rare that I have so many executional errors, so very much focused on putting that behind me. I would be much more concerned if these errors were because I was trying to make up time or do things like that. I think there should be. Obviously, they were costly errors, but things can be very easily rectified. Asked if anything felt different compared to other weekends, Piastri added, "There's not been anything different this weekend. It depends how you want to look at that. For me, if I felt like I was in a completely different headspace, then it's easier to blame it on that, and also a problem to rectify, I guess. But this weekend's felt like any other weekend. Just unfortunately, there's been far too many mistakes from start to finish." Despite leaving Baku without points for the first time in 2025, Piastri retains a 25-point lead at the top of the standings, with Norris only scoring 6 from his 7th place finish. "Yeah, it is what it is," Piastri said. I'm not too concerned about that. I think for me, I'm solely focused on myself and what I can do to improve. There's still a long way to go, and if you have good or bad weekends, the championship is far from over. That's what I'm focused on. Cool, calm and collected. I mean, even after crashing out, he wasn't like going, "Oh my God, what happened there?" And all this on the radio. He was just like, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right." I mean, physically he was okay, mentally probably a bit peeved, but yeah, like I said, he was in the marshal's post after the Grand Prix. It was such a Kimi-esque image, effectively. I mean, I can imagine he wants to take some time to think before speaking to the media, which is very wise, to be honest, and also probably seeing how the race was kind of panning out too, just from an intrigue point of view. And when he probably realised Orlando isn't going to win this, or probably not get on the podium, I'm probably going to go back now. It doesn't look too bad, really, because, if you're going to retire from a race, you want to retire from a race, you weren't going to score that many points in anyway. Looking at where Lando was, even if Piastri was in and around there, he might have got 5th, maybe at a push. But if he was like Lando, he probably would have been in 8th behind him. But you never know. You never know. Unusual again to only have one retirement during this Grand Prix. No mechanical retirements, just the one accident damage for Oscar Piastri. That was it. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Is Piastri rattled? Has he been thrown off balance by this? Is he going to struggle in Singapore in a couple of weeks' time? I want to hear what you have to say. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe. As always, guys, have a fantastic day wherever you're on the world today, and we'll see you very soon.